Hey, good morning, everybody. Psalm 142, get ready to faith the day, faith the weekend. So again, just a little bit of background. This is another psalm where David is really, he's in distress. And I guess in case you don't know that David was anointed king while Saul was still the king. And David spent over 10 years, I believe, actually running and hiding because Saul was after him and wanting to kill him. He spent a lot of time in the mountains. He spent a lot of time in the caves. He spent a lot of time having narrow escapes and just barely getting away from Saul. And so the times were pretty confusing. Saul's trying to kill him. He knows that God has anointed him king. Samuel has anointed him king. He knows he's supposed to be king, but it ain't happening. It's not working out. And not only that, is he's in fear for his life. So he probably writes this from one of those moments of desperation, from one of those moments where you just finally, you just don't know if you can take any more of what life's bringing out to you. And he says, I cry out to the Lord with my voice. With my voice to the Lord, I make my supplication. I pour out my complaint before him. I declare before him my trouble. Let me tell you something. God's big enough to hear your troubles. God's big enough to hear your heartache. God's big enough to hear your heartbreak. The scriptures tell us to cast our burdens on him because he cares for us, to cast all of our cares and our anxieties upon him. God is big enough. He has big enough shoulders to handle however you may pour out your heart and your complaints before him. Just pour them out to God. Talk to him. Tell him about it. He already knows anyhow, as we've already pointed out, but he's big enough to handle that. Because what happens is really what's deep in our heart begins to come out. And in verse 3, he says, when my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you knew my path and the way which I walk. They have secretly laid a snare for me. He says, look, when I was really, really just overwhelmed, he says, actually, I knew that you knew what was going on. And I knew that you knew where I was. And I knew that you knew the path that I was walking down. And I knew that you were here with me. I believe it's a verse in Proverbs that says, that man makes his plans, but the Lord directs his steps. We don't always, we can't see into the future. And so we're so affected by the present, and the present can overwhelm us, but we don't always see the future. David couldn't see the future. David didn't know what was ahead and how victorious he was going to be and how blessed he was going to be and what a great king over a great kingdom that he was going to have. But he knew deep in his heart that God was with him, and God is with you, and God is with us as well when we have surrendered our lives to him. And he says, so I cried out to you, O Lord. I said, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living. So, really, ultimately, when we have God, we have all we need. He is our portion. He is our refuge. He is our strength. He is the one that protects us. He is the ark that we get into when the judgment waters come. Listen, the only portion that we really need, the only part that we really need is to have the Lord. If the Lord's on our side, what's the saying? If God is for us, then who can be against us? If the Lord is on our side, then who's going to be able to defeat us? Who's going to be able to overcome us? God is going to have his way. And as long as we are trusting and following and are surrendered to him, he's going to have his way in our life. And so he says, bring my soul out of prison so that I may praise your name, that the righteous shall surround me, and you shall deal bountifully with me. When God rescues, praise him. Actually, before he rescues, go ahead and start praising him. Praise his name. Hey, Psalm 142, get out there, faith today, have a good weekend. Sunday morning, Bible study 9:15, worship service at 10:30. Come see me. I want to see you. All right, come see me. God bless you. Bye.